Hi, welcome to Suplex the Sticks, a gaming podcast hosted by David and Seth.
Hi.
And Forrest.
Howdy.
What did you?
So I was moving my leg and I accidentally, my foot accidentally touched your knee, and then I was like, sorry, but I wasn't gonna caress your knee.
I don't care.
It confused both me and David.
That was the other intention of it.
All right, gentlemen, you guys have until the end of the podcast to give me the 5 things that you accomplished this episode.
This
Or
episode,
else,
not this week.
No, or else, we're gonna have to let you go. And if you don't answer, I'll consider that a resignation.
Gotcha.
I see.
So, just 5 things this episode or this week?
I said this episode.
He did say this episode, so
Okay.
we really got to make this one count.
Yeah. All right. Well, this episode I will have been in charge of recording and editing and posting.
All right, wait.
So that's 3
okay,
things.
Yeah, but I'm gonna need all 5 at once. So
And
you can just
being
wait.
on it, so that's 4.
Yep.
All right.
And writing the title, that's 5.
Dang.
You have not written the title yet.
Yeah, but I will.
But he will.
Yeah, but
Maybe this episode will never go to air.
Maybe we'll get fired before we can upload it.
Yeah. I bought a PlayStation Portal off of someone that probably stole it. That's my
he's got hot goods.
What?
yeah.
You failed to mention this to me before.
I'm pretty certain that the guy. So he sold it to me on Facebook Marketplace. If you want a PlayStation Portal, don't be a rube that'll buy it full price at your local Target or something.
You corporate shill.
Buy it off of Facebook Marketplace.
Support
where
local.
They're everywhere. You just trip over them out there in the wild, ranging from $120 to $150. And you can talk most of them down to $120.
Because the reality is, everyone who has a PlayStation Portal doesn't want it.
Yeah, unless they're playing something like me, and I'm playing Metaphor on it, and it's perfect for that because it's a non-quick time
Yeah.
game that doesn't require quick reactions.
Turn-based, if you will.
Yeah,
Based
so he
indeed.
probably stole it. It's fine. He was really adamant that he spent a lot of money on the case, and I was like, "Yeah, but the Portal." And he's like, "Yeah, but I dropped $20 on that case." I'm like, "All right, bud.
$20 is not a lot for a case.
I know."
But he did do it.
So true.
I did have to peel a Deadpool skin off of it.
Oh.
It was, Deadpool on it.
And you got Deadpool all over your hands.
Yeah.
My hands did feel gross
That's
after.
one of those things you can't so easily wash off.
Yeah, that's
No.
still there. Every time you
No,
touch your
Marvel.
face, it's going
Marvel
in
is
your
still
mouth.
dealing with it after the reactions to Captain America. They're all the people that love Deadpool are sticking and being dumb about Deadpool. So, they dabbled too far into the Deadpool hole,
Yeah.
just like this guy. Yeah,
You don't want to get in Deadpool's hole.
not at all. So yeah, I have a Portal now, and it works great. If you have a good internet connection.
Did you when you started Metaphor? I never forgot to. I did forget to ask you. Did you notice the book that seemingly has the Kingdom Hearts logo on the front of it?
Oh?
It's very confusing.
Yeah, it is very
Is
confusing.
this a Kingdom Hearts 4?
No, it's
No.
not related.
It could
No.
just...
Just use a very similar iconography.
But
on
it
this
used
book.
similar iconography on
Was
the
it,
book while
was it the
saying
crown
things.
or was it the key?
while
Or a
saying
heart?
things that would lead you to believe it is Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, no, it's more like the heart, like kind of like
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Swirlies. So it's was cool. It's man, I love playing Metaphor, and I have a child, and so I like to watch TV with my wife, and so our time is limited.
You're doing a
and
lot
so
of multitasking.
Taking up the TV with Metaphor is a big ask, and so now I have a Portal, and I can play it.
This is the dream of the Wii U.
Dude, you're
Made
stop
manifest
it.
once
no,
again.
you're preaching to the choir. Someone that I loved the Wii U. I don't want to hear. I'm not the person that you have to preach to.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm preaching to the converted here.
no. I was never converted. I was a believer day one in the Wii U.
Yeah.
They didn't have to convince me I was there. Well, everyone laughed at them when they said you could use that gamepad as a remote controller for your TV. I was like, yes,
It's great.
that's great.
Yeah.
Amazing. I could browse Netflix titles on the gamepad while selecting them to be on my TV. Amazing. Great technology. The world is dumb and
Nintendo,
bad.
they really nailed it with the 2-screen thing when the DS came out.
And, yeah.
And it was a natural extension to make it work on TV. But there were many flaws to their execution and their marketing
And people are dumb because now, you know what? On the sandbox, they're doing it now with their Apple TVs, with their phone controlling the Apple TV. It's just a Wii U gamepad at that point.
So
Nintendo
true.
was there, and
they were ahead of their time.
same with Xbox and having the console
Kinect.
be the entertainment center and the Kinect. You know, it's just really annoying that history doesn't remember the people that blazed the trail. It just walks in it afterwards, forgets the people that set it up.
That's another thing David has done this episode is make poignant statements.
All right, we will wait. Can we wait
I'm
until the
also-
end of the episode to get the list, please?
Not to just keep bringing up old technologies that do need to come back, but
GameCube.
we really need to bring back the snap feature for the Xbox so that I can watch sports games
Yeah, but
on that
they would
fifth
have
of
to
my
bring
screen.
back. I guess you can get YouTube TV on it now.
Yeah, I would stream. I would watch Gator games in that fifth
Dude,
of my
the
screen.
Xbox One was so wild. It's like, here's an HDMI input.
Yeah.
Just let
Yeah.
you watch whatever you want.
Cameron straight up used his Xbox One as a intermediary cable box until 2 years ago. He used it for a long time for that.
Yeah.
Because it was
Crazy.
good. It was good.
It was very good.
And it was just dumb. They took it away from us.
I used mine as a way to just have my Xbox 360 and my Xbox One on the same HDMI input.
All
I just
because
switch
of
back and forth between them whichever one I wanted to play.
and people had to get mad because of used games and digital games, which they do now anyways. Idiots. The lot of everyone. Hindering progress.
That's stupid. That used game thing was so stupid. Though.
It was.
ridiculous.
Everyone almost everyone, a majority buys digital games now, and
Right, but the market was simply not ready for it at that point.
that's that was
Also,
only
I would
7
also
years ago.
argue
seven.
It's like
low-key,
a long time ago in video game technology.
There's been a concerted effort to devalue physical media over the last decade.
Yeah, well,
so therefore
it's-
the market has
yeah.
been basically forced to shift.
I don't know
in
what
that
to tell you,
direction.
but with the way the world is turning, physical media is going to be exceedingly harder to get. So it's just going to be digital because of
Sometimes I
stuff
think
coming
about
from
the
other
games
countries.
the
So-
games I used to have on GameCube that I no longer have, and I'm sad that I never kept them.
Yeah, well, you'll get a digital version in the future.
I hope so.
I wouldn't bet money on it.
Or you could just download it off of the internet in some manner.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Listen, in video games, piracy and emulation is preservation.
It's true. It's true.
So, whatever. That's my soapbox.
Yeah.
I understood. I was very afraid for my job at GameStop with the used games thing. But
They somehow kept it going.
yeah, they're not anymore. But I mean, they're
Yeah,
shuttering
there's, no
stores
used
left and
games.
They're a
right.
shell company.
Yeah, they're shuttering stores left and right, and they don't really sell used games anymore. They do.
They
but
sell Funko Pops.
I bought Metroid Zero Mission from one of our local GameStops last year.
It's amazing. You can still trade whatever in at GameStop, but you never see any of the stuff in the store that has been traded.
No.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Very strange.
So yeah, I've been playing Metaphor. I started Avowed. I got 2 hours in. I got into the main town, and then I got the portal and have been sucked back into Metaphor. But I am here to talk to you guys about a game that I don't know if you've heard about. And I've been playing it on my phone a lot. It's I don't
this
know.
card game?
It could be a new game for all I know. But it's a small game, I think, relatively indie developer. But it's called Slay the Spire.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I don't know if you've heard about this.
Sometime over the last decade.
I'm sure someone told me at some time to play this video game. Multiple people, maybe. But it's great. I've gotten to the third act boss a couple times and I haven't beat it.
Nice.
But
Nice. Which one?
I got to I think the one I remember most is the diamond and the circle. And I killed one of them.
Yep.
I almost got it. But I play primarily as the first person.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that little robot guy with
Robot
the
guy's
orbs.
fun.
The orbs.
Yep.
I don't care about Dagger Fella.
Dagger Girl's good.
Oh, Dagger Girl. My bad. Misgender.
Poison.
I apologize.
That poison stuff, it can wreck people. And there's basically an infinite build with her that involves this power that turns all of your cards into like 0 cost. And then if you get certain relics will like let you continually draw stuff when you play 0 cost cards. And you can just like, it's very fun.
Yeah.
What I love about Slay the Spire is that almost every character has really broken builds that you can get into that make the game like crazy to play.
Yeah.
But I also I don't really like playing the game in the sort of min-maxing way of I'm going to remove everything from my deck but the cards that...
Yeah, I don't like doing that. I've
it is
never
the most
been...
efficient way to do it.
That's kind of how I played Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance. So I removed every card that
you
wasn't...
can remove cards in that game?
Take them out from your deck.
That's right, yeah.
I just removed everything that was not a Keyblade attack card. It was not a good decision.
No, you got to have elixirs at least.
I think we're figuring out why you didn't like this.
Oh yeah,
Insane.
because I didn't know how to play because I was stupid. I was trying to play it like it was a regular Kingdom Hearts game.
I mean, God, that's wild.
You're kind of a monster for saying it's not a good game.
It's not a good game.
No, you're just dumb.
I think both things can be true.
I'm afraid to go back and play that because I won't.
Because
like
it's
it.
bad.
No, because you know it's great, and you've played it once.
Listen, I've
and
still
you-
got my GBA copy. I have a few GBAs around.
Well, I still
let
have
you
my
experience it.
my DS Fat
Oh, nice.
somewhere.
The GBA would be the only way I'd want to play it. I wouldn't want to play the PS2 version.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no, absolutely not.
Because
It's probably easier to play.
Yeah, because there's that bigger disconnect. Like, because if you play the PS2 version, you're just like, I just want to
It's
play
just Kingdom
Hearts
Hearts
1.
with like weird restrictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the Game Boy Advance, it was unique.
This is true.
True. But yeah, I've been playing Slay the Spire a lot. Ooh, sorry.
It's a good game, especially on the phone.
It's
like
perfect on the
very
phone.
hard to put down.
It's actually taken away from my Marvel Snap time, which has been kind of fun.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it definitely has killed me playing Balatro on my phone. This game's... I don't know how to say this, but as someone that has played both recently, Balatro wishes it could be Slay the Spire levels of fun.
I think I hear the angry mobs.
Yeah, well,
flooding
there's
the
a lot
house
of
right
people that
now.
love Balatro. I get it, but like,
Yeah, but Slay the Spire is basically the progenitor of an entire genre,
Right,
In the
right,
way
right.
that Metroid was.
Yeah.
And
So
there's always a purity in playing the OG.
yeah, this is true.
That everything sort of is aping. In a
So why
sense.
don't they call it Spire Likes?
You know, that's a good question.
Yeah.
But I think would be really stupid to call it that because
Is-
calling it a roguelike deck builder, I think, is a bit more.
Is Slay the Spire 2 going to be out on mobile right away?
No.
Well, that's dumb. You would think that, like, that
I mean, the only thing they've talked about is it being on PC.
So that would be
Wait, there's
silly
a
to
Slay
me.
the Spire 2?
Yeah, it's in early access, or it's going to be.
Yeah.
Is
soon.
it the same Spire? If
good
so,
question,
it's already been
probably.
slain.
I don't know.
Like, what's the deal?
Forrest, if you played the game, you would know that when you get to the end
I don't know.
of the game,
Don't spoil it for me. This is a new game
you
for me.
slayed the Spire.
you know, things happen and the Spire remains, including the big old whale.
Is that the thing at the bottom? The thing that you talk to?
There's a
Yeah.
big whale?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got like 8 eyes or something.
Yeah.
What the?
They talk to you every time you die,
Yeah.
and you respawn.
Okay, I'll need to check this out then.
I really like to go to the question mark spots in Slay the Spire.
Oh, always.
I love a question mark spot.
Yeah.
They're like, would you like to go to an enemy? And I'm like, no. I want to go to that question mark.
It might be an enemy. You
And
don't
it
know.
might be an enemy.
It's always
It
a
might
question.
be goop that you fall into and can...
It's actually a bunch of Riddler trophy challenges.
Listen,
Uh,
I'm
now
not
that would
above
be
doing
fun.
all of those.
In a roguelike deck builder, you have
Honestly,
have
yeah.
little question marks, and it just pops you into a completely different game.
That'd be a really fun randomizer mod
Yeah.
for a game.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing. New season of Fortnite's not that good, but I'm interested in it. They added Sub-Zero's gloves. Seth, riddle me this as a Riddler trophy.
I don't think the gloves are where the ice comes from.
I know it's not where the ice comes from. Again, that's why I said it's dumb.
Ice is stored in
What
the
do you
gloves.
think? Yeah. What do you think? I'm still trying to figure out the connection here. The big theme to this season of Fortnite is like crime bosses.
Okay.
And then the big IP skin they added to this season is Sub-Zero. And I don't know what the connection
Well, I
there
think
is
that
at
you
all.
could reasonably guess that he is a Yakuza. I don't know that that's true
He's
canonically.
not. No.
I don't think he's in 1 through 8. Or any of the spin-offs.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know. We got this pirate game.
I don't-
Could be in it.
I don't think he's even like a dragon.
No,
But no, I
he
think
is.
Sub-
'Cause
Sub-Zero's
he is because
Chinese, isn't
Lin Kuei's is like a dragon. No, that I'm. Hold on. Are we being terrible?
No, I think this is like
I think Lin Kuei. I
because
think
I
he's
thought
Japanese.
I thought Scorpion was Japanese.
Oh no. What have we been terrible? Are we David Zaslaving them?
Oh God.
There's going to be It's been confirmed that Mortal Kombat 2 movie's happening.
Yeah.
It's got a like a poster. Like, that movie was bad and good.
He's Chinese.
Oh,
I'm not
that's
racist.
cool. Yeah, but you're a furry.
No.
So it's that's crazy. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, I thought that last movie. I didn't think it did well financially, but
Well, it was a
had
straight
my-
to streaming movie. It was a COVID
Oh
movie.
yeah, that
He
is
was
true.
inspired
They had my
by
boy
the,
Hiroyuki
he was
Sanada
inspired
in it,
by the
though,
book
so-
China's Ninja Connection.
Oh.
Did you see that Mortal Kombat movie, Seth?
Mm-mm.
We should watch it.
Yeah,
It's a good time. There's a lot of fighting in it.
I'd love to hear
Kung
that.
Fu fighting?
And the Sub-Zero and Scorpion fights are pretty cool.
Nice. Were they as fast as lightning?
No. Marion did film a video today of Lil David and me. He was kicking the bluey cherries downstairs, and I was yelling, "Hey!" like when he was doing it, like it was Karate Kid, or like the Cobra Kai or whatever.
awesome.
It was pretty funny. But yeah, that was a long segment with a lot of offshoots.
Tangents.
But, I just played stuff, man. I'm just really excited to
Sine,
be playing
cosine,
Metaphor.
tangent.
I'm about 15 hours in.
trigonometry.
I'm almost.
I was referring to The World Ends With You,
Yeah.
boss Sho Minamimoto.
Yeah, I was about to say, get with it, Forrest. Watch the anime if you don't want to play the
I
game.
did watch the anime.
But really, like
So
I'm
Zeta
about
slow.
to get to the necromancer at the top of the tower.
Ooh.
I'm almost there. I think.
You mean the Spire?
No, the tower and
The
Metaphor.
tower, metaphor.
Oh, Metaphor. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm caught up now.
I eagerly want my 4th party member, but I don't know if that's going to happen till after the Necromancer.
It will happen after the Necromancer.
Okay. I figured as much.
Is that you
Yes.
predicting the future?
No, he
It
knows.
is
Or
me
the
knowing
future.
the future.
All right. Well, that is what it is.
Yeah, you'll have to stop the day of calamity.
Hmm.
It's interesting to start a video game, and it's like in 10 days, the day of calamity
Yeah,
comes. Like,
it
wait
is-
a minute,
that
this
is
feels like the end of a game.
Brutal. Like it's a lot. I did have to call Seth
Yeah,
when I
it was-
started playing
it was very
Metaphor
interesting.
because the game doesn't really signpost very well how to get to the dungeon.
Oh, did you fight that dragon or whatever it was in the first dungeon?
Oh yes, I
He
did.
did,
Oh,
he
yeah,
did.
that's
And I beat
good.
it.
Good.
You get a cool sword.
Yep.
Love to hear it.
Um,
As you should.
Yeah.
Yep. I wish I had done it.
But I had to call Seth and ask him how to get to the dungeon and hoping he remembered because it's so far away from when he played it. And luckily he had the same slight issue as I did. So
I did remember.
the game doesn't
Nice.
really signpost that that's where you're supposed to go. It does happen like kind of in a cutscene, but like it doesn't tell you, I feel like very clearly that this is where you go to the dungeon. So, and I like let a day go by, and like those are important because if you don't finish it in time, I'm sure something bad happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens. I never
I don't
did
wanna
that
risk it.
in Persona 5, and I never did it in this game.
I'm sure it's an end state.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a YouTuber that did it.
Yeah.
But I would never test it. But yeah, Seth, what have you played?
I, of course, have been playing Avowed.
That's why we didn't record last week.
It's true, I was playing Avowed, and did not see the messages that were being sent to me.
You lost all track of time and space.
Yeah.
I did.
Which
It was-
happens with you in first-person games.
Although, I was
It's too immersed.
I feel like the day and night cycle is either not as prevalent or not as important in this game because it was not like the infamous Skyrim
Right.
incident in which I forgot what day it was
That's true.
because so many in-game
Seth-
days had passed.
Seth did text me, what day is it?
I got real immersed in that game.
He played Skyrim long enough that
Played
it
it
made
so
him lose
long.
track of
Everything.
everything.
Yes. Yep. Ah, good times. But I think this game is similarly immersive, but certainly not as expansive. It is
Yeah.
in the same way that the Outer Worlds, Obsidian's previous first-person RPG, in the same way it was sort of taking what they had done in Fallout New Vegas and slimming down the scope.
Yeah.
They do that here with the kind of Skyrim mold. And I think they are much more successful here than they were with Outer Worlds. I know people liked Outer Worlds. It didn't really do a whole lot for me. I didn't really care much for the whole setting.
Do you feel like the second one could maybe knock it out the park? Because the first
I don't
one
know.
was before they had the Microsoft support.
That's true. But I don't know. The thing, like, Outer Worlds had good characters and good character writing. But I just didn't really care about the world that they created. Like, it's a futuristic corporate hellscape where everything
Yeah.
is run by, corporations. And I feel like it was sort of like 60s pulpy that they were going for, but
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't a whole lot interesting that they were saying in the world, a whole lot new. And I think a reason that Avowed succeeds to me where I thought that they failed with that one is because they already have set up this world. They've made two very expansive video games in this world with the two Pillars of Eternity games.
Yeah, how did you feel? Did you feel lost at all Not
No,
having played either of those.
I didn't realize this was in
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
Wow.
It's like in an island separate, but like it does
But yes,
reference.
same.
The game opens up giving you a kind of a very dry sort of history
Summarization.
of this fictional world, and it tells you about the titular pillars of eternity, these giant Audra crystals that connect everyone to the afterlife, and this, a lot of lore.
Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, one of the early, like any Elder Scrolls like game, there are just copious amounts of books laying around about the history of the world, and one of them in like the very first area is called Pillars of Eternity, and is about the huge crystals.
Nice.
And I think that was when I sort of remembered. But I did go and like look up the plots of Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, and I think the knowledge that I gained in those, I think I would be looking at the story in a very different way if I did not have that knowledge,
Oh, really?
which is interesting. And I wonder if some of the stuff will ever be broached in the game itself. But there is a lot of like the in-game, like the lore text that sort of references stuff that happened, which is a classic move out of the Elder Scrolls textbook. But yeah, so they already had this world built, and so that's why I think it feels more lived in, I guess. Like they have a more clear creative vision of the world that you're in. Though, and like you said, it does take place in this separate island that is distinct from
Right.
The places that you visited in Pillars of Eternity. And I think it's kind of funny because, they have created this entire world with multiple continents, and yet they decided, well, let's make this tinier place because they
Right.
can't really set it in these gigantic places that they put in, that they talk about in the lore and that were in Pillars of Eternity, because it sort of goes beyond the scope of what the game they're trying to do, which I think is funny. But I'm sure if it's, depending on how successful it is, I'm sure as they go forward they will. If they go back to it, there certainly is there's fertile ground to be plowed here, in future games. I think I've had a lot of fun playing it. I think it is marked as much by its similarities to the Elder Scrolls games as it is its differences.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of those differences come from the nature of scaling back. So, like, you're not going to go out into the world and just stumble upon random caves that have, occasionally have their own little tiny storylines in them, but sometimes are just fodder for animals, like killing stuff and getting items.
Yeah.
But the caves that you do find all have very specifically crafted like story beats in them.
Oh. I like to hear that.
Yeah. So there's nothing as and having played Skyrim, I can't say for sure that every single cave in there doesn't have story stuff or quests or stuff like that. Because a lot of them do. You'll find out. You'll go in and there'll be like a little insular quest that takes place in a cave or something in Skyrim. But for sure, almost everywhere you go in this game is going to be connected to some type of quest you will find. So everything has been put in place for a reason.
Nice.
Which is good. It can tend to make the world feel small at sometimes, especially when you've like explored a lot of an area and you know that there's no more new places in a map to go. And by the time you get there, you're in story wise, you're going to the next area anyways. But it never feels small at first. It's only like in hindsight that when you finished everything, you're like, well, there's nothing to do here anymore.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad thing, but it is a very distinct difference from an Elder Scrolls game, which you could just continually play forever, basically.
Yeah.
Doing the same stuff over and over. I don't know the difference. There's no stealing. There's no lock picking.
Wow.
You cannot attack random NPCs.
That's kind of crazy for a Western RPG game to not have specifically those mechanics.
And I don't think
I think personally it's time.
I don't disagree.
I'm tired of the just intentional rule breaking, which maybe makes me a fuddy-duddy. But
I don't know. I don't think I could ever play an Elder Scrolls game that doesn't allow me to just go into stores at night and steal all the stuff and then sell them to someone.
Yeah.
You could.
Because that is the only way that I want to play those games. But I think it's outside of that. I think it's fine that it's not here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that I am missing. Nor is the fact that I can't attack NPCs.
I get it. I get that makes me a fuddy-duddy. But I just don't know if that... I know that it makes it something you can do. Yeah. I don't know if it makes it a better game.
I think it is an essential part of the Elder Scrolls formula.
But it's also it is a thing for the player to choose to do.
Yes.
And in a role-playing game, especially one is
open-ended, you want to make choices. I get it.
And especially in those games where there are dedicated storylines about a group of thieves and quest lines about going in and stealing stuff, doing heists and stuff like that. But I mean, you look at in freaking Starfield, like there was no fun in doing it in that game. It absolutely was superfluous to anything that you were doing. It's interesting the similarities and the differences. Gosh, I had something that was on my mind that I don't remember. One of the things that I don't appreciate about the game is the map. The way that it works is... I mean, I both do and don't like it. It's one of those where when you open the map without going anywhere, you'll see like a sort of vague version of the map, and as you go through places, it actually fills in, which is fine. And it can be useful as you are going. You can open up and look like, oh, I can see this place I didn't go.
Yeah.
But also, it does that thing that I hate, where the map contains multiple parts that are just not accessible and not intended to be accessible. And so, like, there's no way to know that by looking at the map. Like, I was in the second region, and there's this area in like the top left corner of the map, and there's very clearly like bridges going to it, and there's no way to get to it. And I remember like when I first started out, like I was waiting to not. I was like, all right, I'll go up to that place next. And then when I finally like went to do it, I was like, what? How do I get here? I can see it.
Yeah.
Like they very clearly designed it. But yeah, there's no way, and there's no. Unfortunately, there is no Skyrim horsing in this game, where you just sort of run forward until you find the kind of polygons with collision that you can stand on.
Yeah.
I was just trying to remember the game that did that last that frustrated us.
I remember it
was
from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Especially, I remember it distinctly in the Midgar area.
Yeah.
That there are places that you just cannot go to, and it
They're meant to be seen, not explored.
I remember that in that jungle area.
So much.
The jungle area is
so
where
mad.
I really got bad.
And so that does make it confusing at times when I'm looking at, okay, can I go here?
Yeah.
Where exactly am I going? And there are like little lines on the map that in hindsight, you realize indicate, okay, this is like a mountain range,
Yeah.
an edge that I cannot pass here. But it it's so frustrating, just like having this place, seeing it, and having it on the map, and just there's absolutely no way
Right.
to get there. It's so frustrating. There's also the game makes use of a compass, which unfortunately I found that any game that has a compass, I spend a lot of the time just running around looking at the compass instead of looking at what is on screen.
Turn it off.
But the compass, I don't know if you can. I haven't actually looked at it. But the compass also will show you locations of like collectible like crafting materials in the wilderness and where downed bodies are that you can collect items off of.
Okay.
To the extent that it will show you places, it will show you ones that you have not seen yet, which is useful in like knowing, okay, here's an area that I have to, like there's a little climbing puzzle that I can get to. But it's another thing that specifically like grabs at my compulsive need to pick up everything.
single
And
thing,
so
yeah.
it's like, okay, there's something.
Is there a reason this compass is omniscient?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just there. I think it's probably just there to
Not fill up the map with all these
Yeah,
like icons
and-
and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
and I
I hate
think-
a bloated map.
yeah, and I think it is there as a tool to guide you to specific locations that you might otherwise not go to intentionally.
Mm.
And a cool thing about this game, it makes efficient use of parkouring and like mantling, climbing, and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I've
And
done
there
that,
are
but-
no yellow lines to be seen on any ledges.
So you just gotta try.
Eyeball it.
Well, I mean,
It's actually green.
I don't think that-
arrows and paint.
I don't think I've found a situation in which, like, it wasn't clear what is climbable and what isn't. They kind of just use the shapes of the ledges and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Dishonored does that pretty
Yeah,
well.
and I know that I forget what game it was recently that the yellow colored ledges were back in the discourse, and yeah, this
think
game
it was-
doesn't really have them.
I don't know. I think it was like a PlayStation game. Like it was either like one of the Horizons or I think maybe even Final Fantasy
Yeah,
did it.
it just goes to show
Yeah.
that you can get away without doing it, even though there will inevitably be people who are like, I don't know what to do if you take them off, and so I understand the need for them, but as you look at it here in an ostensibly open world game where you have no specific direction that you are funneled in at any given time, I don't think I've come across like a climbing puzzle that I haven't figured out what it is designed to do.
Yeah.
Which I think is I think it's just a very well crafted, well put together world that opens itself up to you in intelligent ways, and yeah, I think I've been having a very good time playing it. The characters, as with any Obsidian game, they've proven that they know how to write good characters, and
Yeah.
they are the same in this game. Except for freaking Marius. He's the second companion you get. He's a dwarf. He's a tracker. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. Whenever
I thought you were about the rhyme there.
No.
He's
Whenever...
a dwarf, he's a tracker. He's a
He's a-
no-nonsense monster whacker.
I mean, he is that. But he also is... He's very much
He's got a heart of
anti
gold.
any of the kind of magic and weird soul stuff that is happening. The thing about... So the whole Pillars of Eternity world, their magic system is based off of in this world they figured out that souls, like a person's soul, is a physical like force
Yeah.
that can be extracted and harnessed as energy, and so that is like you whenever you use magic, you use essence, which is essentially like
souls of people?
soul force, and like the world that they're in. A live stream Mako style.
Yeah.
It permeates through the whole world, and there are a group of people who.
That was actually my first thought when you said
Yeah.
like these pillars are basically like
Yeah,
the
it's
bridge
kinda,
to the afterlife,
it's
and I'm
kinda
like, oh, the
Mako.
live stream.
Yep. There's a whole nation of people that study how to manipulate the soul and,
Oh, yeah.
and use it to power machinery. That's a lot of the lore that I read about in the first two games that isn't super touched on, and is I mean I think it's really cool lore. I haven't played this game, so I don't really know enough to talk about it. But it's interesting stuff. The way they have set up the world, and the way that it sort of connects into this game. If you know that, and like I said, all I know is the sort of base level what is going on. But it has made the game a bit more interesting in certain areas. But yeah, the magic in this game I think is really fun. The wands are fun to use. They basically turn you into like the later Harry Potter movies where you're just blasting spells.
It is just blasting.
Which it's super. I think it might be the most like physically pleasing weapon to use.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the game has great sound effects.
Yes, the spell casting sounds awesome.
It sounds so good. The noises that it makes when it hits people, and also the spells, like you can equip a grimoire and it will have 4 spells that you can choose from, and you can also learn spells outside of that and equip them to like hotkeys, and it's very the magic. I don't think I've ever played an Elder Scrolls game where I've done a magic build because I found that it's not really fun to use, but it is fun to use here. Even though I guess it's sort of less magic here and more just a different weapon type, but all the weapons are fun to use. It's a very, very solidly built game. I've enjoyed it a whole lot.
Have you beat it yet?
No,
No?
I have not.
How far are you? I've heard that there's like 4 areas.
Yeah, so I think when you're in the first area, you learn about like 3 other major cities, and so I am in the third. I am in the third of the 4 major cities and areas that I know of. I think it's possible there could be another non-city zone beyond the last one, just looking at like the overworld map, but that's not really giving you any indication. So I don't know how far I am, but I've certainly been like binge playing the game and enjoying it a lot. But anyway, I was saying Marius, the
dwarf.
The dwarf, he like sort of tunes out every time anyone is talking about souls and essence, and he's kind of a drag whenever you have him in the party and he's talking about that stuff. It's clear that he has a very troubled background that I don't think you get into until you get to the final city, and so he doesn't really open up as much as other characters, but he is kind of funny in his own like wry sense. It's good.
I didn't even
It's
know that you
interesting.
brought along companions yet.
Yeah.
Because like I said,
Yeah,
I
that's what
haven't
it
got that
was.
far.
That's how it worked in Outer World. Is that you met people that you could bring along, and there are 4 that you can get that you can choose from. You got a melee guy, you got an archer, you got a healer, and then you got a spellcaster. And it's good. They all have different interactions in conversations. They like have different things they can say. They will. What's really impressive is that they all have like environmental dialogue about like every specific place and quest that you're on. They will chime in on stuff that's actually happening, which is cool.
Nice.
Did you trust the lady in the beginning?
Which lady?
In the jail cell?
Yeah.
Okay. I did too. I've been wanting to talk to someone that didn't.
Yeah, so this game there is a path that you can take of just being the absolute worst guy in this game, and I wonder who would play it like that. I think you'd have to intentionally do that. It's really strange. The setup is that you are an envoy of this empire. You are
the
going,
emperor.
Yeah, you are going.
And you're
to
a godlike.
You are going to this island because there is this plague that is happening that is infecting people's minds and turning them into mushroom people.
But you're kind of a mushroom person yourself.
Yes, you are a godlike, a person who has been like...
How mushroomy did you make your person?
Not super mushroomy. Not in the face, but I did give him the crazy branches coming out of the head.
I went mushroomy head, mushroomy face.
Yeah.
But like pretty mushroomy. Like I look very pretty.
Yeah. I like in the character creation
There's one
screen,
where your heads just bark.
Yeah.
Yo.
But in the character creation screen, there's an option for you to not have the mushroom parts visible, but it says, like, in parentheses, characters will still react as if you had these things. And they do. They're all like, ooh, what's wrong with your face?
And you just look completely normal.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, you are the envoy of this colonial empire who is sending you to figure out what this issue is. So, with
So you're a Fed.
Yeah, kind of. You're,
In a way.
It's clear that the emperor wants you to come here to fix this problem so that they can move in and set up a colony there. There's a lot in the backstory about how they have a bunch of colonies that have set up and then subsequently got independence. I think that was big parts of the Pillars of Eternity games.
Yeah.
And it's
I believe
weird
so.
because your character is ostensibly would be leaning on a certain bent, but I hear that and I'm like, okay, I want to do everything opposite of these interests.
Right.
And so it sort of puts you at odds in some places to what is happening in the story and happening with your character. Which is, I think it's interesting, and as I've gone further, there are opportunities to sort of differentiate myself from the views of the empire that I am from. But there is, in every dialogue option, there is the kind of zealot, I'm here to fix this backwater place for my civilized empire, and you can really just be the worst guy in this game.
Have you been doing all the side stuff?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm very interested to see. Apparently, there is a side mission in one of the middle areas that actually has like extreme ramifications to the end of the game. So I'm interested. I don't want to know too much.
Yeah,
about it,
there's
but
I didn't really think about it until after it happened, but there is a big change in what happens in the second area, depending on what you do. And I even found like the secret quest that is there, because it's not a quest that you are given. It's just like if you throughout your decision making, if you find out about this information, you can sort of stop something or allow something to happen. And yeah, I didn't really think about it until after it happened. I was like, I wonder when I went in that cave and confronted those guys, if I had done it differently, this different thing would have happened. And it turns out, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it is a really cool thing that...
it was an interesting thing. So I listened to a lot of gaming podcasts, of course. I was listening to two people, Janet and Patrick of Remap Radio, talk about this game. And Janet she's kind of not having fun with the game. And she's like, I just feel like every decision tree I'm on like funnels me to the same decision. So like everything would lead to the same. And she's like talking about this side quest she did. And Patrick is sitting there quietly. You can hear him and he goes, I'm here to tell you, Janet, that everything I did was completely different than what you did.
That's good.
And it came to and she like, it was sort of a frustrating reaction from her where she's like, well, it still just didn't feel good. And it's like, okay, well, maybe that wasn't your complaint then, that it just felt that it funneled you. you just didn't like where you ended.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know it, but it was interesting to hear her go from one to the other. But
Yeah, and there are definitely.
but it made me happy to know that there are like decisions in this world that change how.
there are
things
definitely
work.
decisions in some certain quests that knowing the end result, I kind of wish that I had chose different options beforehand. But it's like, this is sort of the way that
It's what you did.
The way that it's what I did.
And
You can kind of rationalize everything and the fact that nothing really is out of character because you are this sort of alien force come here to
Right.
with a very specific purpose, and whatever you do is sort of in search of that purpose.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I think it's a cool game, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I just had something again pop in that I was gonna say, and then you said that thing, and now I can't remember what it was.
Sorry.
What could it be? I don't know.
You seemed like you had stopped your train of thought, so I tried to interact with you. And then your brain kept going.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Something about something. Change. I don't know. It was something interesting, I assure you, and insightful, and.
Well, I apologize.
But it's a good game.
Good deal.
Oh, interesting thing about the game, a common quality of the Elder Scrolls game is that you go into a dungeon and you pick up everything that's not bolted down, and then you're over encumbered and you have to walk really slow to wherever the next place you can sell stuff is. It's very annoying, but it's like a fundamental part of the design and the experience of that game. This game also has an encumbered system, but it also, you have a party stash whenever you camp out that you can put however many items you want to in it. You can access it at any time when you're shopping. It wasn't until like midway through the second area that I realized, you can just send anything to that stash from the menu.
This, yeah.
At any time.
Oh.
And it makes me wonder, well, what's the point of the encumbrance system then?
I don't know, but I love to have a bag of holding.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
very
good.
likely that some people don't know about that
Yeah.
mechanic that they can just send the stuff away. So it's like, well, here's your punishment, I guess.
Yeah, I just think it's strange. Like, you have circumvented this whole system. Are you just keeping it in because it is like a legacy part of the genre? No, you can't access you can't get anything out of your campsite.
You can
at any
toss
time.
it in there.
But yeah, you can toss anything in there at any time. And I remember when I first realized I could do this, I was like, oh, this is great. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is weird. Why is the game set up this way? Another weird thing about the game, there is an abundance of unique quote-unquote items, which are like weapons or armor that have their own distinct abilities. And they vastly outnumber... not outnumber, but they're just... You run into them so often.
Frequently.
It's like there is no... I don't know what the purpose of the regular weapons are in this game. The regular weapons and armor. Because you could just go for a little bit and find a unique weapon that is going to be like stronger or have a better effect than anything you have equipped. It's really weird. There's so many. I guess maybe there is so many because like the upgrading system kind of requires you to have a bunch of items that you can dismantle for upgrade materials.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
But it's just strange that they're like you get loaded down with them. And it sort of feels like sacrilege to dismantle a unique item to upgrade another one. It's weird. And I know that's sort of like a trait that has been I I don't know what boiled it into me, but I guess the idea that there's only one single version of these items that you can never get back if you discard it. It makes you want to be like, I know I'm never going to use it, but maybe
It took
I
me a
will want
really
to.
long time to break that conditioning when I played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Because it has the crafting mechanic thing in that game, and I was just always so worried of, like, for some reason not being able to craft, like, the good, cool new ability ever again or something. So I'm like, I can't ever get rid of this. That game broke my conditioning of this problem. But yeah, I don't know what set it in the first place.
Yeah, I
either.
don't know, but it does feel like inborn as to be like, okay, gotta save all this stuff. I guess it's also the same thing that makes you sit in RPGs, save all of your potions until like the final boss and then never use any of them.
Yeah.
Which is I have not had a problem with in this game. I use potions all the time because they are the best thing to heal you, and you get a lot of them. The game loads you up with items of all kind, but the weapons thing, it is interesting. I mean, maybe it's there intentionally to force you to have to make these decisions of getting rid of these weapons if you want to upgrade the other ones. In which case, I guess it is an interesting, like, there's a design purpose there, but it breaks my brain having to think about it. I did the other day successfully manage to break down a bunch of the items in my bank and use it to upgrade stuff, but it felt so wrong doing it, even though I knew I would never equip any of these items.
Yeah, I don't have that. I just get rid of things.
Really?
Yeah, Borderlands broke that for me.
Yeah, but Borderlands is different because so much of what you get in that is meant to just be fodder to sell.
Yeah, but then there's named,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
especially the last Borderlands where so much of the name stuff was useless.
Yeah, and you do get a lot.
Yeah. So
It is a bit different though, and that
it's different.
And that game, you may never get the exact same version of a gun, but you could basically get the same golden text and
Right.
has the same effect. In this game, it's like there's one of this item. I hope you know what you want to do with it.
Yeah. What you want to do with it is dismantle it when it's useless.
Yeah. And dismantle it when it's still useful to dismantle
Yes.
it. Because if you get farther along, the items that you'll get for dismantling it won't be helpful to upgrade other items anymore.
Exactly.
Dang.
Yeah.
So it's got to be like a constant loop.
Yep. And there's a loop which I didn't engage in, and now I'm worried that some of my items I will not be able to upgrade far enough because I won't be able to get the
That's
necessary
so sad.
materials. But, that's how it goes.
Yeah, and this is a game where when things die, they die. That doesn't like...
Yeah, there's
the
no
game-
respawning of,
Yeah.
of characters or even enemies.
The world,
The world is
It's in a
cleansed.
constant
Flat.
state.
you cleansed it,
Wow.
which is kind of rad.
yeah.
Yeah. Makes you actually like have to stick by your decisions.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fun.
Like I said, it's. I think all the things that are interesting about it are the ways that it differs and the ways
Yeah.
that it chooses to be the same. And I, so far, have thought it's pretty much successful in all of those similarities and differences. But yeah, Avowed, it's on Game Pass. Go play it if you like those kind of games.
Game Pass,
You
baby.
can give yourself a big mushroom face and head.
Gotta love the Game Pass.
I gotta say, it's really weird when you're in the character creator and you get to the part that you have to put mushrooms all over your face, and it's like, what the heck? I don't want to do this. But you grow to love it.
It's got a certain charm.
Yeah.
I liked my mushroom head,
Yeah.
but then again, I picked it. I was when I was given the option, I was like, ooh. And I got the one that had like a fin at the top of my head, and it was great.
It's fun.
Kind of like a fish. It's probably like a beta fish, probably.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Less some mushroom. But
Some of them are just sticks.
yeah, there is one that is just a bark,
Yep.
like I said earlier, that covers your face very awkwardly.
And would you know, it's probably connected to all the people going crazy with mushrooms coming out of their faces.
Probably. Probably is.
Yep. Who would have thought?
I know that the Giant Bomb guys were far enough in the game that Dan at least intimated who famously hates RPGs, loves this video game, thinks it's amazing.
Wow. It's
He,
a rare thing.
He chose a very minimal aesthetic to his flowery stuff. But he's learned some things and is far enough in the game that he wishes he had more, which is an interesting statement.
Yep.
He said, "I wish I had gone harder on that stuff," which is interesting.
Yeah.
So
Very curious.
yeah, I wonder what would have led to that. But yeah, we'll see. Have you played anything else?
Not really.
Not really.
Oh, I did the other day. I was looking through the Xbox shop, and I saw that Sid Meier's Pirates was on sale for $2.
I did see you playing this.
So yeah, I have played a bit of that. The game rules. It makes me so mad that it's not on phones anymore. I wish I could play it on my phone. It used to be on Android,
I never played it.
and it used to be on iOS, and now those things don't exist on the app stores anymore.
Yeah.
Very fun game.
If you don't update your app enough, they will take it off.
Yeah.
Forrest, what have you played?
I have played a fair bit of things. I don't know if I talked about it the last time we did an episode, but I'm in Fortnite now.
Yep.
And
You did talk
I'm getting
about Fortnite.
wins. I'm getting wins out the wazoo. And they're tough. Number one victory royale, yes, sir.
It's a Fortnite boy now.
Yeah, very very fun game. I'm glad I've grown as a person to be able to enjoy this game as it is instead of just being a fuddy-duddy like I used to be about it.
All it took was your other friends to play it.
No, listen, you got me started on it.
I know. And you still haven't played it with me.
I haven't had time. We'll play this weekend.
I know.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll make it happen.
I have a lot going on this weekend.
This is true. I do as well. I shouldn't make promises.
I have to run.
I have to go to Orlando for a birthday party. But yeah, so I've been playing that. That's been a lot of fun. I played the second Monster Hunter Wilds beta, which I did not enjoy as much as the first one.
People
But I also
love that game, supposedly,
I mean,
according to the reviews.
I
They say
enjoy
it's
it.
the most beginner friendly.
That remains to be seen for me, but for the most part, I feel like I'm getting a pretty good grasp of all the mechanics and just the general gameplay loop of it. It's literally just a lot of going out on expeditions and fighting a monster across like 5 different areas, which is like can get kind of tedious at times, but I think that's just the general gameplay loop of the series, is that the monsters will run away mid-fight to other areas, and you got to chase them down, you got to beat them down some more, and then the cycle repeats until they get to the final area, I guess, and you beat them or you die. So do with that as you will. But yeah, I didn't enjoy my second outing as much as I did in the first beta. I still had a good time, but part of it is also I didn't get to spend as much time this last week playing it compared to the first time. Like I only had one gameplay session for this second beta, and I think like a good like the first half of it was just me just trying to get back into the swing of it and trying to remember all the stuff that I needed to do for the gameplay loop and like all the combos and stuff that I do during fights. Because I used 2 pretty
Different weapons.
yeah, that just work entirely differently from each other, and they're kind of
Do you use
complex
the
in their
hunting
own
horn?
ways. I do
The
not.
big saxophone?
The one in the beta is not a saxophone.
It's
The
not?
saxophone one, you have to unlock it later,
Do you-
like the
do
base
you
game.
use
I
the
think it was
insect
in the
glaive?
first beta.
Maybe. What was that, Dave?
Use the insect glaive.
No, but I really wanted to. I'm gonna. I would
People
like
have
to
said
try
that's
it
the
out.
hardest one to use.
Ooh, but it looks so cool.
With the bugs.
I use the long sword because it makes me feel like Virgil, Devil May Cry, and then something called, I think it's the Change Blade,
Yeah.
It switches between a huge axe and
Yeah.
a huge sword.
It's a changed blade.
Yeah, it's really cool.
When I played the first beta, I mainly used the one that it also has like an axe and a sword, but also has like a shield that you carry.
Yes. That's the... I started with that one, and I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't... I didn't vibe with it.
Yeah.
The shield part of it, I think, was like where I was getting thrown off with it. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the other change weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it has... I think it might be why I didn't like the first beta all that much was because of the weapon I was using. I didn't really get it. I know it has a system of like you having to guard to charge up
Yeah.
the weapon so you can switch to like the axe form and do big damage. I just didn't really get it. But it was like I also don't know if I want to use these other huge weapons. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about if I want to jump into it.
That's fair.
There was like a time where I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this when it comes out, and I played Wild Hearts because I wanted to like understand what the genre was about, and I enjoyed Wild Hearts. I mean, David played Wild Hearts. Sorry, for
I did.
many hours.
Many hours.
And I played Sayonara Wild Hearts.
And Wild Hearts is good, but then it is very different from the way that Monster Hunter feels because it's a lot more about like vertical movement and it feels very akin to like a Team Ninja game versus like a Souls-like game.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really fun. Would fully recommend anyone playing that. It's also on Game Pass and on
Yes.
PlayStation Plus.
This is true.
And so yeah, I think that I wonder if I tried it with a different weapon, if I might be more into it.
That is possible. I mean, because, yeah, if your problem was with just how the weapons felt and therefore made the combat feel and not just the gameplay loop itself being not what clicked, then, yeah, that's just straight up try around different stuff, see what clicks, see what doesn't. Because I tried most of the weapons until I settled on the change blade and the long sword. And like those work really well for me. And you can switch them on the like in the middle of combat. So like some different situations will call for that weapon switch. Like some of the monsters, like for some reason, like if your weapon gets too like dull or low on durability, or the monster itself starts doing some like defensive stuff, certain attacks that you do from certain weapons just basically will bounce right off. Like it'll just clank against it, and it's like you got to figure out something else. And usually the good setup to have is to have a different weapon on that covers a different
damage type.
Yeah. Exactly. A lot of thought put into how you build your character for that game, it seems, which I mean,
not my style of video game.
That's fair. Normally it's not for me either. I kind of like just having a toolkit and just figuring out what I like to use out of it.
If only the monsters were smaller and you rode around on them. And they were called monsties.
Yeah, I think that would make the game a million times better.
Yeah.
Or even smaller, and they were called Pokemon. And you could command them to do attacks.
Pokemon Hunter. Why haven't
Pokemon Hunter?
Now, what about a giant version of the Pokemon that you hunt?
Maybe
like
a Gigantamax version?
Like in Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
You got a sword just whacking at a giant Pikachu.
That's wild.
And you cut its tail off and turn it into a slingshot.
God.
Someone make that game.
Yeah.
No.
They'll just put it in
There's
the
a
Power
game
World.
There's a game that'll get Nintendo to sue you.
Yeah. God. But yeah, so I played.
It could be what ZA is. We'll never know.
Hey,
We'll find out tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I thought that it was yesterday for some reason, so
Nope.
I looked back in the Discord and I saw where you had posted it, and I'm like, oh, that's not. I've still got like 2 days.
Yep.
Great. Like my mental calendar has just been so off this whole
Really,
month.
really hoping we skip a black and white remake and go straight into an X and Y remake.
Well, that's what people think. That's what ZA is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope so.
Me too.
I hate black and white. I don't hate black and white.
I was about to say, get out of here.
don't-
I
like
think
it.
black and white would be cool in the style of Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think the world they set really would set us up well for being like a huge open world.
Yeah.
I am ready for a Pokemon though. I'm ready.
It's time.
Which Pokemon?
It's time.
Shaman?
Always.
I've got Shaman right here. Always by my heart.
This is true.
On my desk. Right here.
Precious little baby.
He's so cute.
I know.
Such a good little hedgehog.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Little ferny hedgehog. Yeah.
Straight from Japan.
A perfect Pokemon design.
Has little
Yes.
Shaman.
the actual beads because it's an actual like little weighted from a Pokemon Center. I don't know which one Andrea got it for me from, but
Boom, bum, bum, beam.
they went to a couple different ones. So
Nice.
I wonder if she bought it from a Nurse Joy.
maybe.
That
I
would
also
be
have a
cool.
Japanese Lightning McQueen back there.
Ka-chow!
Yes, we know.
Hey, kacha!
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah, I played the second Monster Hunter Wilds beta, and then I played the Elden Ring Nightreign network
Ooh,
test.
interesting. I
Oh, so you've
I
played
wanted to play
Fortnite
it.
twice now.
it's
That's what I hear is that's just Fortnite, but for
not
Elden Ring.
That's a pretty solid descriptor, honestly.
Interesting.
So
You drop onto an
drop into
island
a map.
and there's a circle that gets smaller.
Yeah, that funnels you into specific. At least in the network test, it was the same sections every single
And you can
night.
only play with 1 or 3 players.
For the network test, yes. One
no,
of my
for the actual game, it's
one of my
only
friends
1 or
was
3.
telling me that there's leniency there that you can do 2. So
Here's the thing,
I don't know.
there's
I'll
three
let
of
you
us.
know when it
All-
happens.
There's
All
3
of
of us
the-
here.
This
I
is
understand
true.
that, but all of the game journalists are still reporting how bizarre it is that it is 1 or 3.
Okay. Well,
I
Your
remember
friend's uncle that works at From should probably check their sources.
he also checks the. He gets the same information from the same places you and I do. And is more invested in these games than you are, at least, David. But I don't know. I'm just going off of what he said because I haven't looked into it. But the game is fun. But yeah, each expedition you do is a run basically, and there are 4 classes that you play as. Wilder is like an all around balanced class. He starts with a great sword, and he's just like a typical knight character. And then there's Guardian, who is like a dragoon tank.
the guy from Destiny.
Yeah,
Eyes
yeah.
up, Guardian.
Eyes up, Guardian. He's like a dragoon style tank, except he's a birdman. And then there is Recluse.
Raccoon?
Raccoon, yeah, of the Ginyu Force, right?
Yeah.
He's Ginyu Force, yeah. Recluse, who is a mage, and then Duchess, who is very nimble and agile, and is like a thief class, basically. And then as you play through...
Those are the 4 genders.
Yeah, those are the 4 genders. This is true. Apparently there will
Duchess.
be 8 classes in the game, from what I am
I
seeing.
wonder what's missing.
But
there.
I don't think they
Bet there will be a samurai.
announced. Oh, very likely,
Very likely.
extremely. And probably a few different other kinds of like mages, a monk type character for sure.
Gun.
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 Elden Ring-
guns.
Elden Ring
Bow.
didn't have gun, but bow, yes. Cannon, maybe.
I think
Punching.
Yeah, a monk.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah.
What
I
about
think they're
someone
gonna-
who uses those Quicksilver weapons? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think y'all are still underestimating the possibility of gun.
I don't think there were guns.
I
Yeah,
I
there
don't
weren't
think
guns,
there were.
but there also weren't Dark Souls bosses in the game.
This
And
is
there's
true.
Dark Souls
I didn't-
bosses in this.
I
so-
did not run into any Dark Souls bosses during my attempts, but I also only made it to the end of the second night. There are 3 nights throughout each run, and at the end of each night you get
It's like a
funneled.
Majora's Mask.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind
you
of
get
cowards. You
funneled
get 5 nights at Freddy's.
and only 3 nights.
That just makes this one more
in
dangerous.
Limgrave, or whatever it's called. Yeah, so you get
Both have Freddy Fazbear, strangely enough.
you see.
Maybe he's a boss that shows up.
Yeah,
The multiverse is open in this.
this is true.
And we
It is
love
Fortnite
a
after all.
multiverse.
It is
Yeah.
Fortnite after all.
Yeah.
Any bosses can come in.
Yeah. But yeah, so the gameplay loop is just you drop into the map and then you just run around and fight as many bosses as you can.
What if the first season pass has a John Wick costume?
With a gun.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
telling
you know
you,
what?
gun.
I think you are on to something here, fellas. But yeah, you just
Crossbow. I feel like that'd be more appropriate.
I think it should be gun, honestly.
Okay.
If you're doing
Fine.
John Wick.
Fine.
Fine. Or a pencil. That's it.
I like the
that's-
size,
that's
I like
for
the
the
size of the
Joker.
gut
Yeah,
sword.
yeah.
That's for the Joker. And you tell the boss that they've got to fight another
see.
boss.
A magic
And
trick.
then do the magic trick with the
Yeah.
pool
And
cue
then
or
you burn all
whatever.
the money.
You burn the money.
It's about sending a message.
Yeah.
Blow up
Yeah.
the hospital.
Yes.
In a
it doesn't
nurse
work at
costume. Yeah. But yeah, you fight a bunch of bosses to get better loot and equipment and stuff to beat the next boss. And then so at the end of each night, you fight like the main boss of the night, which is always a much more difficult fight compared to just all the ones you're running throughout the lead up to the end of each night.
Is the tree sentinel there?
Yes.
Mm.
For me, he was consistently the boss of the second night.
Ah.
And he gets summoned in with 2 other, not tree sentinels, but like 2 other like knights on horses. So you have
Oh, do you have a horse?
no. But okay,
You
here's
move
another
super
thing.
fast.
Yeah, so here's the other thing I want to mention. The base running speed, not sprinting, the base running speed in Nightreign is basically either at the same speed or even a little bit faster than the sprinting speed in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
and then
people are hauling.
the full sprinting speed feels like you're playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's
dude.
awesome.
So I went back to playing Elden Ring because I'm still fighting Consort Radon, and boy,
That seemed like it
fellas,
would be a hard transition.
it was. It felt so sluggish comparatively. Like I had
You gotta-
to
you gotta
readjust.
Just drop all armor off, get as fast roll as possible.
That's what I have done for my strategy for beating Radon. And fellas,
Roll
I
around
tell
at
you,
the speed of sound.
I almost tasted victory so many times last night playing. I am this close to beating him. I have it.
One day you'll do
I
it.
feel it.
Gwen Stefani once said, "A likely story."
A likely story indeed. Yeah. Thank you, Glenn.
You can play 2-player, but you do have to matchmake and find a third, or else it
Yeah.
will not start the game.
This is true.
3
Which
is a magic number.
yeah. I wish it was 13, but
Solo or
I
Trio.
could not imagine playing this game solo. Like that
Another
sounds
game that did that
abysmal.
recently. I don't remember what it was.
Hard to say.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious how that
Apex.
Oh,
Apex.
Really?
Does well, yeah, you can't. I mean, there was a,
There was a
used
duos
to be
mode.
duos,
the
right?
duos mode is bad, but there
Trios.
was a
It's
duos
trios.
mode. But is solo
3
or
or
trio.
1.
Dang. That's I don't know. That kind of sucks.
Works in Apex.
Yeah, no, that's true. It mostly worked for me in Nightreign. Like I, for the most part, didn't feel frustrated with the people I was matched up with. One funny
Is there a
thing.
ping system?
Where you
I
can ping
don't
things on the
remember. I think so, actually. I can't remember. But the revive system is very fun. So there's a boss
map. Oh, yeah,
from
don't you have to like wail on your
y-
teammates with your sword to
yeah,
revive them?
yep. So you just attack your downed allies, and
funny.
it'll fill up, or it'll actually decrease a bar, and then they
Just
get
slap
up.
them until they wake up.
Exactly. And it's, it's pretty easy when you have, like, so let's say you have, like, one of your allies down, and you and your other living ally just go over and wail on them. 2 hits, they're up.
Yeah.
So quick. If it is just you, especially because most of the time when somebody's going down, it's probably going to be in the middle of a boss fight. The pressure's on, especially if it is just you reviving somebody else. It just takes so long sometimes. I feel like I am, like, in my experience, I felt like I was burning through my stamina meter just with the simplest of things. Even though they've reworked how much stamina is taken up from, like, sprinting and stuff. But even just, like, doing 2 swings on an ally, trying to revive them, feels like I have run out of stamina and then have to wait a few seconds to get it filled back up again to hit them another time to revive them fully. And that is, like, such high pressure, and it's kind of frustrating because the more they go down, the bigger that base bar gets filled.
Sure.
Which means the more you have to hit them to get them revived.
And then they die.
Or you get killed while trying to revive them.
Well, yeah, this is, a classic conundrum in these types of games.
Exactly. But honestly, the game is a blast. I had a really good time with it. I didn't think I was going to, with, like, each new bit of information that came out from the game ever since the announcement of it. I kept going like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. 'Cause
it is a strange concept.
it is very...
It's weird.
It's, like, I'm typically not a fan of, like, just, like... I guess it's a roguelike.
Sort of. Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And I'm not typically a fan of that kind of...
I mean, I don't
game
plan on
and
spending
design.
$50 on it.
That's fair. Well, that's only for the special edition of the game, I think. I think the base game's like $40. So, I don't know. Do with that what you will.
Either one, I don't know. I just, like, it's just a run-based game that's going to go nowhere. And so, I mean, I can play that.
Saying it's going to go nowhere, this is FromSoft. I don't know. Like, I think they have ideas.
Yeah, but
I
didn't
think
they
they'll
work
make it
on...
worth it.
What was that? That game... That PlayStation game...
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah, didn't they work on it? No. There was this sort of, like...
There was a Ninja...
Maybe I'm thinking of... it might have been...
Ninja Blade or something.
It was like a near-ish looking game that was sort of
When was
Destiny
this?
type game. I don't know. It failed pretty badly.
Are you thinking of Babylon's Fall?
Yes,
That-
I am thinking of
That
Babylon's
that
Fall.
was Platinum
Right, that
in
was
Square.
Platinum.
Yeah. Not FromSoft. At least not to my knowledge.
Still, I don't know. It doesn't... It's just kind of a weird game.
That is true.
I don't think is going to go anywhere.
I think...
I think it will go the same direction that all live service games go.
Yeah.
Which is it'll be
It'll
dead
be up
in
for a
a
while.
year and a
and
half.
then-
I am kind of glad to know... I was relieved the other day to know that Miyazaki was not touching this at all. So
Yeah,
that was great.
Because he's focusing
Because
on...
he's focusing on something else more important.
Yeah, absolutely. This is very much like a B team developed
Yeah,
effort.
they said when they made Elden Ring, they're like, we're going to squeeze this stone. We're going to squeeze as much blood as we can out of this.
Listen, I'm here for it because I think Nightreign takes place like way before the Elden Ring story and stuff. So
Did you know that FromSoft made a Monster Hunter game?
I think I did.
It's
know
called
that.
Monster Hunter Diary, Poka Poka Iru Village.
Heck yeah.
Seems like it's a Animal Crossing game with the felines.
Yeah,
in
that
Monster Hunter.
that's totally within FromSoft's wheelhouse.
Yep.
I can see it.
They made that came out the same year as Bloodborne.
Do you think that
It
you'll
should have sold
fight-
better than Bloodborne.
Do you
to
think
be
you'll
honest.
fight any of the Armored Core mechs in this?
I wish, but probably not.
Is this their Dark Tower? Like Stephen King is just every. Like, do
Everyone
you think
is here.
Cookies and Cream are going to come into the area?
What?
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and Cream, the famous PS2 FromSoft game.
Oh,
The
I'm
Adventures
yes.
of Cookies and Cream.
I don't know.
I'm hoping for Metal Wolf Chaos.
Yeah.
And the President of the United States in a mech.
Yeah, but that wasn't from. It was from.
It was FromSoft.
Famously.
Devolver Digital.
Yeah.
What about?
I hope that girl from Lost Kingdoms on the GameCube is in it, who uses cards to summon monsters.
Yugi?
Yugi boy.
Yugi boy.
Kaiba boy.
God. Can we get Pegasus in more things? He's the best. Both him and Kaiba are legitimately two of my favorite characters
They
of
are
all
great.
time. They're so insufferable.
Truly.
I need them
at
in
every
so
at
many
every
more
turn.
things.
They do the thing that makes you hate them the most.
Yeah.
And
And I
you love it
love,
for 'em.
yep, I love to hate them. But yeah, Elden Ring, Nightreign, fun. If you like base Elden Ring, you'll probably find some enjoyment out of Nightreign. And speaking of getting enjoyment out of base Elden Ring, that Consort Radon fight.
You haven't done it in a while.
No, I was having a blast last night playing, despite the numerous losses. But like I'm telling you, I feel so motivated. I am on the cusp of victory. I feel it coursing through my veins every single time I do a new attempt on Radon. And I get one step closer every single time. It is going to happen in March for sure. I'm finally going to be done with it.
We'll
and
see.
then-
If you say so, Yugi boy.
Yeah, and then multiple other friends of mine have stated that they want to play Elden Ring, so I told them, hey, let me know and I'll play with you.
Just tell them to wait for Nightreign.
Yeah. Well, one of them
I feel like
already-
it'd be easier to play that with other people.
that is true.
Yeah, you
That is
need
true.
at least two others
Yeah,
beside yourself.
yeah.
And no more than 2 others.
It's true.
This is true.
At least and at most.
Do you guys plan on getting it?
No.
I don't
No.
know. Probably not. It's not really on my radar, but it is
Okay.
something. I wish that I had been able to. I
Get the
didn't
network
realize that the network test was
Yeah.
happening.
So I
until
didn't.
it was already happening.
I didn't get into it with my account. My friend, both him and his girlfriend, got into it on their, like, they have separate accounts. They both got access to it. So he was like, hey, here's my info. Log in. Use my account.
I hope they do an open one closer to launch.
They
but
never
They
do.
probably won't. Yeah.
No, unfortunately.
Because I feel like it's something I would need to play beforehand.
I
to see
really,
if I,
I'm not
get
trying to
it.
be a
Sure.
turd. I do feel like this will be something that is on one of the subs within 3 months.
It could be. I mean,
It'll be
look-
on PlayStation Plus or at Game Pass. in
Is
3
any other
months.
FromSoft game on him?
Not yet, but this is a weird multiplayer. Like it, the moment that this doesn't generate the amount of users that they want, it's going to end up on
just like
all of them.
literally
all
the
of
new
them.
Dragon Age coming
Yeah.
to PlayStation.
Dragon
Plus.
Age
I'm
is
excited
on-
for Veilguard being put on.
Yeah, I'll play it
PSN.
probably.
Yeah,
maybe.
of course
I will.
you should be. But like the same, like I'm not saying I want this game to fail, but the moment is not generating the amount of users that they think is successful.
Force.
It will end up.
Force. I think he wants it to fail.
I think
It's
he
not
does
that I
too.
want it to fail.
I think he sees the worst in everything.
It did look just like arcadey Elden Ring to me, and that's not what I want out of Elden Ring.
That's true.
I
for
think
you.
that game is going to have crazy lore, and then I'm going to have to be the one to tell you about it.
I think you are being very optimistic. It's not Kingdom Hearts, man. The
true.
the main game barely had lore that was on the like I don't think this. You're not picking up items and stuff like that are.
Well, you don't think
have
George
lore
R.R.
attached to
Martin
them.
himself wrote this?
No,
Instead
he
of writing
actually
Winds of Winter?
he actually. They said specifically he was not involved in this at all.
Yes, this is true.
So, I mean, not saying that he's the mastermind. Listen, I'm smart. I know.
Listen, I'm smart.
I know that
All right.
You could trust
All right,
me.
Elon.
I know
Yeah.
that he like probably had like an idea, and like had a couple meetings with Miyazaki, and then they were like, "All right, thank you, Mr. Martin," and then shoot him off, and
Yeah.
then made what they wanted to.
Shot him into space.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably came up with the ideas of the Elden Lords and the.
I think he specifically
I think-
came up with the idea of Miraca and Radagon being the same body.
I'm pretty sure that he made like the brief outline of the world.
Yeah.
And then
and had a few names.
yeah, that all sound similar.
And start with his initials.
Yes.
Margit, Morgott.
Well, those are the same person for us. That's not really fair.
You get invaded by Margit
Yep.
in Nightreign, and he is
Ah.
one tough cookie. He will just invade you randomly, and then he will choose one of your party members, including you, to just focus on the entire time.
That's fun.
So I got focused on for one of the fights, and I just kept running, and so my teammates would attack him, and basically he wasn't messing with him because he was too focused on me. So I'm
You
just
should have
sitting.
chased him into the storm.
I-
You should have ran him into the storm.
We did.
What's the storm called?
I don't know.
The Night Veil.
It.
The Deafening.
The Veil
I
of
think
Night.
I think he may be close. I think David may be closer to this. I feel like I heard.
hate-
Yeah.
I hate that I'm close to it.
I mean I don't remember if it was given a specific name, but that feels like it would have been around the naming convention of it.
I like the
It's just a
deafening.
wall of blue flame, and you take damage if you get touched. by
They
it
should
or
have
get
made it
caught in
fog to be
like the
in
fog
line
gates
with the rest of the oeuvre.
Yeah.
That's something you can't. It's bad. It's dangerous if you pass this. Oh well.
But that's what I've got. Monster Hunter, Elden Ring, Fortnite. What more could a man want?
I guess nothing.
Picross.
Picross.
If you're
Picross.
David.
I have
True.
not gotten the Picross S11 yet. It's a crime. Where is it, Nintendo? Are you waiting for the new Switch?
I think they
I
are.
think they are.
I think it's going to be a launch title.
That would be pretty nice. I am getting one at launch.
It's going to be the most
If I have to
successful
fight
Switch
someone
2
to the
launch
death.
title.
I'll have a Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day.
Me too.
It's my right as a white American male.
As a capital G gamer.
Yeah. The G in LGBTQ
We all know it stands for gamer.
stands for gamer, and it's my right to have a
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch 2.
It's in the Constitution.
It is.
That's the one specific thing they put in there.
Yeah.
Everything else is vague.
Listen, I exercised that right to get Seth a Nintendo
It's
Switch,
true.
as I made everyone mad in line with my Nintendo Switch.
Oh, man. Truly a Sigma male move.
Truly.
It truly was.
Maybe the most Sigma male thing he's ever done.
It's
I'm
true.
gonna stand in line for these people waiting to get Switches and just play my Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Well, they have to look at me.
I'm shocked you
And I
survived
can't do
that
jack because I'm in
unscathed.
front of him in line.
Yeah, I was in the front of the line. What were they going to do?
Rush you.
Nothing. They're going to do nothing.
It was too early.
It was
I
too
didn't want to
early.
be rushing anyone.
It was early, and it was kind of cold that day, I think.
It was.
But I was playing Zelda. I was fine. I was having a
Vibing.
good time.
Just
Yeah.
vibing.
Fortnite vibing.
What a time!
What a time.
I was able to play video games outside, high quality video games. 8 years ago, that's nuts. 8 years ago. We're like, Nintendo unlocked this whole new era.
Yep, they did.
It's just great. That was a Toy Story back then. Now it's rooms to go. Chicken guys coming to Ocala. The world's changing. It's nuts.
The world ends with you.
Boy, does it. Well, sorry, Forrest, that I don't believe in Elden Ring, Nightreign. I don't want to.
It's real. How do you not believe in it?
I don't believe in that it's going to be good, but I want you to enjoy it.
I don't think he thinks it's a real game.
I do think it's a real game.
I don't know. That sounds kind of like delusional. Like he's
How
backpedaling.
can you
now.
not believe a game that's been announced exists?
Yeah, that
Well, then again,
like
I guess-
that I've played.
I guess that
Does he not trust me and the gaming press at large?
I believe Hollow Knight Silksong exists. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have the ability.
Excuse me, I was talking to Forrest. That was a private conversation.
Yeah.
You shouldn't eavesdrop.
It's quite rude.
Well, one of the 5 things that I've done this episode is be on it, and I will edit it.
All right, you can't say something that you will do. It has to be something you've done. All right, Forrest, give me your 5 things, or else we're going to have to let you go.
I actually have already edited it because I changed the audio forms.
Ooh.
True, that is a type of editing, I suppose. Audio editing. I suppose
that I have talked about video games I've played. I have defended my claims against David and his constant attacks upon my character.
Jeez.
that is a weekly occurrence.
Yeah.
But I'll count it.
Okay,
I'll
thank
let
you.
it
Well,
count.
you didn't say that it couldn't happen outside of this episode.
Look,
just this episode.
There's no specifics about what I am expecting for
This
this
is so
list.
true.
There just needs to be 5 things.
Yeah.
These are 5 things.
I have once again talked about playing Elden Ring.
Yep.
It will never end.
Yeah,
but
okay,
hey, at least it wasn't Halo this time, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I managed to bring up Kingdom Hearts multiple times.
There you go. That counts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have managed to
Oh my God, he's blanking.
I've managed to blank on what my 5th one would be.
Dang. I guess that counts because it is content for the episode. Well, we're going to have to let both of you go, unfortunately.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I'm the backbone of this operation.
No, not according to Elon. He says that
That's
just
fair.
like those guys who run the nuclear, our nuclear cache of weapons,
Good
you're
heavens.
being made redundant
Oh, okay.
by Doge.
Metal Gear
Based.
Rising redundant.
Maybe that's the Final Fantasy 7-3. The redundant.
Redundant.
Redundance.
It's just exactly. It's not even like open world. It's just exactly a remake of the original from that point on.
I kind of would like
I
that.
mean, it'd be a hilarious troll.
Yeah. God.
Redigitize.
It just sounds
that's
like
Kingdom
a
Hearts.
Digimon. Oh, yeah.
No, that is Digimon.
Yeah.
All right.
Recoded.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate everyone listening. I'm sorry we didn't have an episode last week.
It's my fault.
It is Seth's fault, but it was funny, and we will talk at you in a week or 2. I don't know. There could be gigantic news tomorrow in this
could be,
Pokemon
yeah.
Direct. So
We'll do an
Pokemon
impromptu
Ranger remake.
episode.
there won't be an impromptu episode, but there will be an episode next week.
If this Switch 2 has this mouse thing, they could make Pokemon Ranger work again.
They could.
They could. You're right.
They could do it.
Or they just bring back stylus
Or,
functionality
Seth,
in touch.
you're thinking too small here.
I think I'm thinking the appropriate size because I was thinking about Pokemon Ranger.
Yeah, but we could.
What are you thinking?
Instead of you're thinking of something that Pokemon Ranger's fine.
It's great. It's not
Pokemon
just
ZA,
fine.
that's what we're gonna know about more. But the dark horse is that what's hot right now is tiles, and so we've got Onimusha. There's a lot of classic in the past Japanese franchises coming back. And so I think it's time for another one to come back. And that's Pokemon Conquest.
Yes, sir.
And so
That's it.
I'm just saying that
Listen, we haven't had a Fire Emblem in a little bit. It's time for a tile-based strategy.
I thought you were about to say it's time for a
Pokemon-
tile emblem. And I
No,
was
tile
very
emblem.
confused.
No, it's time to have another Pokemon Conquest for sure.
We know what Fire Emblem is coming. Nintendo just hasn't released it yet, which is insane. But
Tile emblem.
that would be a good one for the Fantasy Critic, is the unannounced Fire Emblem
That's
game.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that is one of them.
Since we didn't record last week, we didn't get to harangue Forrest about skipping out of our fantasy league, but I guess
Yeah.
we don't have to do that now.
He still has been properly chided.
Yes.
This is true.
Frankly, you could still join. There's a bunch of games.
No,
There's no games.
It's closed.
True. Well, unless you have a Switch.
Well, yeah, I was about to say the Switch has games. I was about to say there's no games if you have a PS5.
Right. PS5 has no games.
Boy, is that kind of true. Sony forgot it had a
So I was about to say that, dude.
Sony definitely knows they have a console, and they
they just released a pro version of it.
But they don't have any games to go on it, and all the games that were going to come out this year got delayed to next year, like Fair Games. You remember Fair Games with the money sign as an S?
Yeah, I remember.
I do not.
Yeah.
I think I'm
That's
living
the
a
game
better
about
life
thieves
for it.
stealing from thieves.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Very
One of their
strange.
25 live service games.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's dire out there. The
For Sony.
The Switch has flipped. For the Microsoft, everyone gave Microsoft crap for forever that they didn't have games. And now Microsoft has so many games that people aren't even worried that Fable got pushed to next year.
Yeah.
Because there's so much coming out from Microsoft that's like, okay, actually, that'd be nice to have a breather. Thank you for moving that to next year. But Sony is like, what did they have in that direct? They said,
They're sitting with an empty pizza box in their hands.
yeah.
They had a bunch of cool stuff, cool looking stuff that is supposedly coming out this year. I don't remember the names of any of it.
But it's all also multi-plat, so,
Right.
Yeah.
you know. But I have hey, listen, I've got a PlayStation. I'm looking
And
at
a
you,
Portal.
Square Enix. Kingdom Hearts 4. Give me it this year.
Any day now.
Any day now. It's possible.
Listen, we
I want to
finally
know
got
what that Sora's up to.
we finally
I
got
don't know.
16.
Shibuya.
We finally
We
got
gotta have-
7 Rebirth.
We gotta have a lot more weird trailers before we are even close to
Or
a game coming out.
Or
Or
they shadow
hear me
drop
out.
it.
That Final
be the
Fantasy
most
9 remake that
Insane thing.
was in the Nvidia leak for
like
years
4,
ago.
5, 6
Or
years
Tactics.
ago. God.
Or the Tactics remake.
I
that
need that 9 remake. I need
Yeah.
it desperately.
They teased it in that dumb MMO.
Yeah.
I say dumb MMO. Everyone loves that MMO.
Yeah. I actually watched a
Yeah,
lore
but they've
video on it
teased,
the
like,
other
every-
day.
They've had stuff from like every single Final Fantasy.
This is true.
Intro,
The story of
crossover.
Final Fantasy XIV is actually genuinely crazy, and I would say great. I watched some lore videos on it over the last few weeks.
And now Clouds and
Good
Magic
stuff.
the Gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the dual starter deck thing of Cloud vs Sephiroth.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
It's only $20. So if I
Nice.
get a
What
little,
about Tidus?
Who?
no, so I don't need to explain the difference between starter decks and commander decks to you.
Right.
Two different formats of a Magic the Gathering.
Well, I was thinking of the Commander deck ones.
Yes, commander decks are 100 cards,
No
only
repeats.
no repeats, only one of each card. Starter decks are 60 cards and can have 4 of each. It's a trading card game. They have multiple formats within their game, which is bizarre. But Commander is fun.
Well, Commander did start out as a homebrew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Commander is
that's
fun.
cool.
But I will be buying Tidus and Cloud.
Who?
Tidus.
Tidus.
Not yes. Okay,
No,
cool. I know who
it's-
that is.
Tide Pod.
It's Tidus and
Ah,
Cloud.
Ah.
Those are the two I'm buying. Because the other one is
Final Fantasy 14. That's what I thought of it.
14. What's the other two commander decks? I can't remember.
I thought there were only 3.
There's 4.
What's her name? With the Magitech armor from
Tara.
Terra. Yes,
Nice.
Terra. She's not in the Magitech armor, but that's what.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought,
And then there's another one. I
I
can't
thought
remember.
there was only. You just said there was
the
4.
Guardian.
They
Yeah,
should
there's
get,
4.
They should get
Tidus,
the dude
Cloud,
from Final Fantasy 12.
Guardian of Light, I think. Van?
Warrior of Light.
No, not him.
He's not-
He is from 12, but no, I'm thinking of the bad
Hold
guy.
on.
from
Now
12.
you're making me mad. And
With the
making me
cool
feel
armor.
dumb. Final Fantasy commander decks. They're doing Avatar ones too.
I did see that.
Which Avatar?
But
Last
Last Airbender.
The
Can't
good
believe Korra
Avatar.
killed that world. Amazing.
It is amazing.
It is, and I still love her.
Oh yeah, Korra's great. She was right. Just yeah, boom. There's 4 of them. Tidus, Cloud, some looking bunny girl, and
It's from
some
14.
green-haired girl.
That's Terra.
There you go. 4. 4
Bunny
decks.
Girl may be from 12, depending. It's
No,
not her?
No.
Okay.
Not that bunny girl.
Oh, yeah.
Ishtola.
Yep.
Ishtola. Yes,
Ishtola.
it's from 14.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what that
As
is.
I said,
You're right.
we named 4 of them, and you were like, well, what's
I'm
the other one?
Sorry for doubting.
This is the
you.
one I pre-ordered. It's Cloud versus Sephiroth.
So cool.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
We'll play that. We'll play it against each other in my house, and we'll play that song really loud.
What, do you,
while we fight each other.
what colors do you think they are?
Uh,
Sephiroth, gotta be black, and
this has been discussed. Not
What
on
is their
this show.
combo?
I think that Sephiroth is red, black.
That makes
Cloud's
sense.
probably white, green.
Cloud is white, green. I think.
That's just off the dome. That's me guessing.
But the commander variant of Cloud is different, which is weird. There's multiple versions of each character. This is like a full set.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Cactar card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
The ability is
9,999 needles.
They've only shown off like 10 cards, and the rest they're waiting to show off later.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
There's a lot of ire in the Magic community of how much focus is going on these.
Well, yeah, Magic
Elseworlds.
Gathering has become Fortnite
Yeah.
for trading card games. and
And
you can
it was-
blame the Lord of the
It
Rings
was
for
fine
that.
beforehand because these didn't used to be legal in tournament play in
Yeah.
regular decks, and now they all are.
yeah, the Lord of the Rings set kind of broke that, like he said.
Yep.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, Magic the Gathering. It's gonna be fun,
Cool.
but
Also, Assassin's Creed is in it.
yes, that's true.
I think I missed that.
Ezio, where is your hook blade?
I don't think that's a card, but I wish it
It
was.
should be.
It's the most
Listen, they have
iconic
some
line
weird
in all of
titles
Assassin's Creed.
for cards sometimes.
Yeah, I can't
Sometimes
remember.
they are full sentences.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not even a Magic player, and I know that. I just know about Magic on like the casual. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Cash.
Stuff's too expensive to keep up with. Magic's crazy. More expensive than Digimon.
Yeah.
Well, of course it is.
And
It's been
the
around
clientele of people that play it are weirder. So
Of course it is.
they're like League people.
Normal people like Digimon.
So
You're all
Forrest is laughing because he probably is friends with League people.
No, I was gonna say you're all weird as someone who has not played a trading card game since I was in elementary school, and it was Yu-Gi-Oh.
What about Pokemon TCG on the Game Boy?
I did not.
Oh, you missed out.
Yeah, because I didn't like the Pokemon TCG because I just wanted to play the Pokemon like the mainline video games. I was like, why isn't this like that?
You missed out on a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
True. That is a good soundtrack. I've listened to it.
Are you going to get that Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection?
I'm contemplating it.
I've thought about it. I know that none of those games actually play like the card game, which is kind of fun.
Which I think is the appeal for me, at least.
And there's
but I also
Dungeon
know
Dice Monsters. in it.
I also know from playing a bunch of when they came out, they don't play very well as video
No.
games.
They're pretty bad video games.
But I am interested in it. Specifically because of like the PlayStation era games that I never played, which seem to hew more in line with the Duelist Kingdom arc, where the rules are just random.
Yeah.
Cloud
Good
is
times.
red, white?
Dang, I missed it.
Why?
I don't know. And I can't see what Sephiroth is.
Maybe he's green black then,
He has to be black. You
Yeah.
would think.
just like Piccolo.
Just like Goku.
Sephiroth is planet's hero, and Cloud is the planet's champion.
So true.
Yeah. I guess both of
That's
those
the
are
planet's
sort of accurate.
champion.
Sephiroth is going to deliver the planet as a hero from what it is,
Yeah.
and Cloud is trying to save it for what it is. It's interesting. Man, can't wait.
We don't need to get into Final Fantasy VII mumbo jumbo on here.
I think we could.
We could.
I always
we could
want
be here
to.
for another
I
hour.
don't want to.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.